They thought she had it easy. They thought she was just lucky. They thought life handed her everything on a silver platter. But what they never knew, what they never stopped to ask, was how much of herself she poured into becoming who she was. Her name was Amara Johnson. She was born into wealth, not the loud kind, the quiet, powerful kind. Her family name opened doors. It commanded respect before she even spoke. People smiled at her because of where she came from, not who she was. And even as a child, Amara noticed it. She noticed how people treated her differently, how mistakes were forgiven quickly, how expectations were low because comfort was assumed. Something about that never sat right with her. Deep inside her spirit, Amara knew she did not want to live off a name she was born into. She didn't want her story to begin and end with inheritance. She wanted a name she earned, a life that could stand on its own, even if everything else was stripped away. So while others leaned into comfort, Amara leaned into discomfort. While others chose ease, she chose effort. Not because she was forced to, but because she needed to know without doubt that she could survive on her own strength. As she grew older, life began to teach her lessons that no amount of money could protect her from. She learned that not everyone clapping for you is clapping because they believe in you. Some people clap because they want to be close to the spotlight. She learned that some smiles hide jealousy, some laughter hides resentment, and some friendships are nothing more than business arrangements dressed as loyalty. People loved her lifestyle. They loved the parties, the access, the name. But when Amara started pulling back, when she stopped funding everyone's comfort, when she chose focus over fun, they disappeared, and letting them go hurt more than she expected. Because silence has a way of revealing the truth. In that silence, Amara met herself, her fears, her doubts, her strength. She discovered that when there is no one to impress, you finally hear your own voice. Amara worked day and night, not because anyone was watching, but because she believed in what she was building. She sketched designs until the sun came up. She ruined fabrics learning what not to do. She cried over failed collections and started again the next morning. Her hands were tired, her back ached, her eyes burned, but her spirit refused to quit. Slowly, the work began to speak for itself. Clients came, orders increased. Her designs stood out. She didn't chase trends. She created timeless beauty. And piece by piece, Amara built a bridal fashion empire from nothing but vision and discipline. No shortcuts, no favors, no loud announcements. She built it to remind herself that a woman can be gentle and still be powerful. That femininity is not weakness. That patience is strength in disguise. And yet, even with success surrounding her, something felt empty. At night, when the world was quiet and the noise faded, Amara felt the ache. She wanted someone to come home to, someone who would see her tired days and still choose her, someone who would love her mind, her heart, her discipline, not her balance sheet. She wanted a family, and as she approached 27, the pressure grew louder. Questions came from relatives, friends, strangers. Why are you still single? Don't wait too long. Success doesn't keep you warm at night. Amara smiled politely, but inside, she wondered if love would ever find her. Then one ordinary afternoon, inside a grocery store, life answered her silently. That's when she saw him. Daniel Reed. Tall, strong, grounded. There was nothing rushed about him, nothing forced. He greeted strangers as if kindness cost nothing. He laughed easily. Children gravitated toward him like they felt safe in his presence. Amara noticed how people responded to him, how his calmness softened the room. She watched quietly without expectations, and something in her chest loosened. When she finished shopping and walked to her car, a simple Mercedes that reflected her personality, comfortable but not loud, Daniel noticed her, not because she was flashy, but because she carried herself with quiet confidence. When he walked past her, her scent lingered, and for reasons he couldn't explain, it felt familiar, comforting. So he stopped, and he spoke. Their conversation was simple, but something about it felt different. There was no performance, no pretending, just two people meeting at the right time. They began to see each other, then regularly, then seriously. 7 months later, Daniel proposed, and Amara said yes without hesitation. Daniel was successful, a vice president in a major company, hardworking, respected, but Amara never measured him by titles. She measured him by how he treated people. What no one knew was that Amara earned far more than Daniel. She never corrected assumptions. She never felt the need to explain. Their weddings were unforgettable. A traditional ceremony rich with culture and joy, a quiet court wedding filled with intimacy, and a white wedding so grand the city talked about it for weeks. People admired them, people speculated, but while everyone celebrated, Daniel's mother, Mrs. Reed, watched quietly. She didn't trust Amara. She believed her son had married beneath his value. She believed Amara was there for money. Amara felt the tension immediately. She tried to address it gently with Daniel, but Daniel avoided it. He believed ignoring the problem would make it disappear. They built a beautiful home, spacious, warm, filled with light. 4 years later, they welcomed 2 children, a son, Noah, full of curiosity, and a daughter, Lily, full of laughter. Life felt settled, safe, until one weekend, just before Lily's birthday, Mrs. Reed arrived, unannounced, 2 large suitcases, and authority in her step. She didn't come to celebrate, she came to inspect. From the moment Amara walked through the door after a long day of work, the energy shifted. Mrs. Reed barely acknowledged her greeting. Her eyes scanned the house, searching for faults. And when Daniel left for work the next morning, the mask fell. Mrs. Reed spoke badly about Amara on phone calls. Loudly, deliberately, she questioned her worth, her femininity, her role as a wife. Amara heard everything. It broke her heart, but she chose silence. She cooked meals that filled the house with warmth. She cleaned until the floors shined. She helped Noah with homework and sang with Lily. She turned the house into a place of peace. Mrs. Reed criticized her food, sent her on unnecessary errands, spilled her stew and demanded more. Amara cooked again. Her body ached. Her heart was tired, but she refused to respond with bitterness. Then one night, everything changed. Mrs. Reed fell ill. By morning, Amara found her unconscious. A stroke. Panic filled the house. They rushed to the hospital. The doctor explained the cost of surgery. Millions. Mrs. Reed assumed her son would pay, but Daniel couldn't. And when he said Amara would, the truth spilled out. Amara was the provider, the backbone, the silent pillar. Shame washed over Mrs. Reed. The woman she tried to break was the one saving her life. Amara paid the bill, without pride, without revenge. She cared for Mrs. Reed after surgery, fed her, watched over her, and still threw Lily a birthday celebration filled with love. That night, Mrs. Reed apologized, and Amara forgave her, because Amara never needed validation. Her strength was quiet. Her heart was strong. She didn't just build a business. She built her own name. The end.